sir.
All right. On the left, on the right. Okay, the planning board meeting, commissioner meeting for July 23rd, 2019 will please come to order. Director Kabatis, roll call, please.
Russell Condit,
Yes, here, I'm sorry.
Dave Schilling,
Here.
Bill Cook, Ron Brewer,
Here.
Howard Harper,
Here.
Tony Valerie,
Here.
Jerry Proto.
Here.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 present and 1 absent, so we have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. We don't have any minutes do we,
There
from
are
the last
minutes
meeting.
from, not from the most recent meeting, the special meeting, but the meeting prior to that. There are minutes.
Okay. All right. So we can have approval for the minutes from the commission meeting for June 3rd.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from June 3rd, 2019. Second.
It's been approved and seconded, the meeting for June 3rd, 2019. Director Kabatis, roll call, please.
Condit,
Yeah, yes.
Schilling,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Valerie,
Yes.
Proto.
Yes.
Okay, the meeting minutes for June 3rd has been seconded in motion and approved. And on. Okay, so we can move on to our first order of business, and that would be petition 19-07, Spectacle Entertainment proposing a planned unit development to establish an integrated gaming facility at 5400 West 29th Avenue, 2760 Jerry Street, and 2901 Tompkins Street. With the part in reference to this petition, please come forward, give your name and the order of business.
Good afternoon, committee members.
Good afternoon.
Director. My name is Attorney Richard Williams III. I'm serving as outside legal counsel to Spectacle Entertainment LLC in their efforts to secure a planned unit developmental agreement by this body. Today, you'll first hear from Attorney Keeler, who serves as to Spectacle LLC, Spectacle Entertainment LLC, by Mr. Ziegler, who will give a more technical overview of what we're attempting to do here today. Thank you.
Okay. Please come forward, sir. Give your name.
Mr. President, members of the commission, my name is John Keeler. I'm the Vice President and General Counsel of Spectacle Entertainment. I thought it might be appropriate for me to tell you just a little bit about Spectacle. Spectacle is an Indiana company that was formed to pursue casino opportunities. It was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to purchase the Majestic Star Casinos. We closed on March 13th of this year. We worked hand in glove with the city, President and the mayor, to secure legislation to authorize one of the casinos to move off the water onto the land, thereby freeing up Buffington Harbor. And so what you have today before you, I think, is an important step in that sort of what seems like a lifelong journey that Senator Rogers and Representative Brown put together in the early 90s to have a land-based casino here. And we're pleased to be able to partner with the city to make that a reality. Just a broad overview of our project, we propose to do it in 2 phases. Phase 1 would be a casino. Phase 2 would be a hotel and parking garage that would come approximately 2 to 3 years later. We originally envisioned to do that all at one fell swoop, and then along came Illinois and sort of set us back on our heels a little bit, but we're committed to this project and committed to doing it in 2 phases. Just to put a little bit of spin on and what I think it means to the community is there'll be over 1,000 construction jobs during the completion of the project, and that's phase 1 I'm talking about. In addition to that, we will have a project labor agreement with the Northwest Indiana Building Trades and the appropriate unions. The Indiana plan will be a part of that. We intend to honor all of our obligations under the LDA and the Gary City ordinances with regard to MBE and WDE involved in that construction process. Once the building is constructed, we currently have approximately 900 employees. We think once the building, the casino, and the hotel is completed, we will employ approximately 1,800. The legislation that was passed requires those that are from Gary to have first preference, and those that have current jobs at Majestic to have just to keep their jobs. And we plan on doing that. Nobody will lose their job from this project. We hope to fill them all with Gary residents as soon as those positions are available. It's been an exciting and a busy time during the legislature, getting to where we are right now. Rich Ziegler will tell you a little bit about our partnership with Hard Rock and what we have planned. But that partnership was dictated by what happened in Illinois. And we felt if we were going to be able to compete in here and put out a first-class product and really attract people to our facility, we needed to partner with the gold standard, the Rolls Royce, if you will, of the casino gaming industry. And that's why we've partnered with Hard Rock, who will manage and brand this casino as well as the building. So I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. Just let me how pleased we are with our partnership with Gary and how optimistic we are about how this project will, I think, be not only profitable for Hard Rock, but also for the city of Gary.
Okay, is there any questions for the gentleman? Or anyone want to make comment?
How big will the casino be? How many slot machines do you think?
I want to keep the overview going. Put the overview first. Don't put the overview thing.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Did you want to take questions now, or do you want to? Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
Fine.
So I'm Rich Ziegler, I'm the Vice President of Development for Spectacle. Pleased to be here with everyone today. As you may know, our planned unit development application was filed for 2 parcels of land. There's a 27-acre parcel that's on the north side of 29th Street, between 29th Street and 8094, just west of Burr Street. There's also an 1.5-acre parcel on the south side that initially we would use to support construction, for temporary construction areas. Our planned unit development is for a multi-use hotel and entertainment facility that I think you're probably all familiar with what that means. We'll go through that quickly. So to give you a little context, this is 8094 Burr Street. So on the northeast, we have Pilots Travel Center. The northwest is the TA Travel Center. And of course, we have Mr. Fuel in the southwest. This parcel, the 27 acres, was previously or is currently owned by Pilot and under contract to Spectacle. And this is where we propose to construct a casino. A little more specific, so the Pilot property is in red.
I'm sorry, can you bring that over so we see as well? I'm kind of missing a bit.
Does that work very well?
Can you see? Thank you, I appreciate it.
Does that work?
Yes.
So the Pilot property is outlined in red, and the other property we have is outlined in orange. Since submitting the planned unit development, we've also acquired rights, purchase agreements on the block extending over to Dallas Street, which is going to give us some better flexibility to further enhance the goals and aesthetics of the project. In addition, we're in conversations with NDOT to acquire the excess right-of-way that they have. So one of the things about the PUD you have in front of you, it does provide for additions of areas. So we would anticipate, as we move forward through the design process, that we would come back and add some areas to it. So the building, as John said, Illinois has changed things for us a bit, and we're still working through that design process about exactly how big it is and all the amenities. But I can tell you in general terms, the building will be about 200 to 220,000 square feet. Of course, we have slot machines, table games, sports wagering, a number of restaurants and bars, an entertainment venue, including a Hard Rock Live, a true theater. That space will also support convention. It'll be a very flexible, multifunction type of space. And of course, retail space, gift shop, all the amenities that you would see in a state-of-the-art and top of the line casino. In addition to that space, our master planning, that again, we are still working on how the building will lay out and how the parking lots will lay out of the property. We're working through that, but that master planning includes hotel and parking structure. So that those facilities would not be an afterthought, they are part of the initial design all the way through. Also included in that building will be support facilities, of course. There's lots of space that you see up front, but you've also got kitchens and loading and storage and all the other offices and all the other functional space that go into a building. Just to give you a little flavor of the aesthetics. As John said, Hard Rock brings us to the state of the art and the best of the best. So you'll see, and these are our renderings for their concept, their work in progress, and we have a really terrific design team that we put in place that are working through right now the program, the size of the building, the shape, and then we'll move to the interiors. But these were some initial visions to give you a sense of what the quality of the property that we see. Obviously, table games. That's a buffet. And then, of course, the bar. I think there was a question about number of machines, the legislation.
Number of slot machines that you guys are licensed for initially.
The legislation allows for 2,750, so that would be our maximum. We're still working out exactly how many machines and what the breakdown is between machines and tables.
So you guys are gonna have like horse racing or like you could bet like with horses?
For sports wagering, not for horse racing.
Oh, for sports, okay.
Excuse me.
What, Mr. President, excuse me, point of order, Mr. President, let's finish the overview, let's make sure the commissioners
Yeah, I
have
would-
it,
I would
and
think
then
so.
let's go to the public.
Yeah, whenever you're done with that,
Meeting
then,
going.
you know. start.
So that's our vision, is that, again, we're still in the process of developing how it sits on the property and what it looks like. The way the PUD is drafted, there is a lot of review that happens by the planning commission through the two stages, the preliminary and the detailed submissions. So all that will be reviewed in great detail at those times, including things like signage and facades and materials. But the PUD is pretty specific about a lot of that. In terms of landscaping, what the aesthetics of the property look like are very, very important to us, obviously. So the landscaping will be very well done. The streetscape will be very well done. I think as customers get off 8094 on the Burr Street, the transformation of what this streetscape is going to look like will be dramatic.
Mr. President, I know before, when Mr. Fuel was coming there, one of the things with Mr. Fuel was the 29th Avenue street there. That's part of you all's plans there. Have you all discussed that, the streetscape? Because they were going to have to reconstruct that street there with development.
We have discussed the streetscape, and we'll be doing a traffic study that will be part of our planning commission submission. That'll define how many lanes we need, how long those need to be, and what the extent of improvement on 29th Avenue needs to be.
Well, my question was, I'm sure you have, aerial observations of where you could put the casinos. In your mind, your organization, you assumed that was the better location out of any of the locations that was obviously on the 8094
In the
route.
whole region? Yes, so I personally spent days driving the market, seeing it during different times of the day, looking at property that's available, what was in floodplain, what had visibility, what had design construction issues. We think this is by far the best location in the market. And we're obviously very pleased to have been able to secure the property to do this development.
And my question would be, because, you know, I've been listening to the Chicago situation and the fact that they're looking at doing something on the south side, which is going to be probably to be competitive. So, you know, when it comes to that kind of construction, there's few companies probably in the world that can do it well, do it quickly. And that's the important thing. So I'm sure it's going to be competition amongst Illinois. Obviously, they get tons of money over there and things and building in a quicker time. So you have guys, or you have an organization, or you know someone that you feel like would be a viable company to do the construction.
We're
well.
Yes. So we're, as John said, we're working with Hard Rock. Brings an outstanding team of design professionals from across the country that are focused on casinos and tremendous experience in casinos, not only the design and the construction of them.
I just want to do a point of order of that. To your question there, it will still be put out to bid, so they'll get the most responsible bidder to build the casino and everything too, so.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Not to
Yes.
say that it won't, it's
Right.
going to be, yes, it'll be
Yeah.
put to bid. There will be probably one general contractor who has a tremendous amount of casino experience that knows how to get it from starting work to opening the door. But there's hundreds of contractors that will work through that general contractor or construction manager to get us open.
How long would you say it was gonna take to get this open, the casino? Would you think, estimate, it's gonna take?
Our goal is to have it open for New Year's Eve on 2020.
No pressure.
Yeah, that's going for it. Any other questions from the commissioners? Dave, anything?
No,
From a technical standpoint?
yeah, just as Councilman Brewer brought up in Section 8 of PUD, it does say that they have to do the traffic study to determine the improvements needed to 29th Avenue and Burr Street, including sidewalks, signals, signage, all that stuff. So I'm on board with that.
I have one comment that I wanted to make quickly about the PUD, and if you have any questions about the PUD, just let me know. But in terms of our future approvals for the actual site plan itself and the details that Rich mentioned, the signage, smaller things like that, that's actually gonna get approved according to the PUD through site plan review committee. So we won't have to keep coming back to the plan commission for, oh, we have this sign and we wanna change it. So, site plan review will, plan commission will do the major approval, and then site plan review committee, will do the more detailed approvals down the line. So that'll be me, Dave, the building commissioner, the fire chief, environmental affairs,
GSD.
Gary Sanitary District, Stormwater Management District.
Okay, if there's no more questions among the commissioners, we'll leave it open to the public comment or to anyone that wants to speak for the particular project. Would you please come forward and give your name, address in 3 minutes, please. Coming forward and give your name and address. Yeah, come up so that you can address, you know, get in a position where you can address.
Yeah,
it.
if we could just get you on record.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
I apologize. Paul Dunlap on 2894 Dallas Street, in the Black Oak section of Gary. Who do I face? Just wanted to know, have a few questions of the Dallas acquisition. Would that include the north side or the south side as well of Dallas?
I think Dallas is running east and west, so what we've required is on the east side.
Dallas
Runs north and south.
That runs north and south. This is on the, part on the east side of Dallas.
Okay. As far as construction traffic, will there be a separate exit at any point in time, getting off or into the casino?
A separate exit on, from 894, not that we're anticipating at this time.
So it's just gonna be the grocery exit.
Come off on Burger Street, turn right on 29.
The sewer system, as everybody knows, that Black Oak has very, very bad drainage. How is that going to play into?
We're familiar with the city requirements about stormwater management design. We've engaged American Structure Point to do our land development engineering work. That includes the stormwater, which will be part of the site plan.
Okay. And there is the trains that run south of the construction site. Has there been any thought concerning the trains and how that will play out as far as access to that area?
I've not looked at the trains. I don't see how the trains would impact access.
So know that they're, I do construction, electrician, IDW. So I know that there's going to be a ton of construction traffic in there. So people coming from the south getting back into Black Oak, those trains, they're going to start cutting things off, and there's going to be traffic moving around 894, getting back off and going back into Black Oak.
There's anticipated there's going to be a staging component where we have adequate land to stage all the construction materials and equipment. So it should be limited access or limited in terms to the roads itself. They can stage right there on the property.
Okay. So it is possible to be done in a time frame. The contractors only work probably 12-hour shifts to get it done. So for those people coming back in, Black Oak don't want it to be an issue getting back into Black Oak at 7, 8 o'clock at night, being called by trains and other things. So just all process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who wants to speak for this particular project? Would you please come forward? Give your name in 3 minutes, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Bishop Alvin Carter. I serve as the senior pastor at Prayer Outreach Deliverance Church, and we have been in the neighborhood for about 19, 20 years. So we'd like to know, how will this project affect us? Will have any effect at all?
So they're the church on 29th and
Dallas.
Yeah, so they're across the street from where you're buying. So yes. So they want to know how would the project affect them, at them being across the street.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's the church.
That right there.
Right.
Yes.
Well, certainly we're stopping work at that point, and we would be buffering off that side of the property. I don't think from a direct aspect there won't be any impact to the property. There will be a buffer there. The PUD does call for a screen, a buffer between the commercial use and all the adjoining residential properties. Obviously, the church would be included in that. We wouldn't be using Dallas Street for any access, so we wouldn't be changing traffic there. I think the only impact would be we'll probably have more traffic on 29th Street, which hopefully will make you more visible in the community.
So basically Dallas going back, so it'll be going back north, it will still be considered a dead end then going back?
Yes.
Okay. So when he speaks about a buffer, he speaks about some type of trees or something like that where you want to actually see the facility. Well, that's what it was when the truck stop was coming. They were going to buffer with trees all the way around, so you wouldn't be able to see the lights and things of that nature. It's bright, and especially the trucks. So I can speak on that. I don't know what your buffer is going to look like.
That's exactly what the PUD calls for, is a combination of fencing and trees and other types of landscaping and distance in terms of green space.
So this is everyone that wants to speak for at this time. Yes.
Well, Mr. President, I think some of them want questions answered first, I think, before they get into the dialogue of whether they're for or against. Some of them want to ask questions pertaining to the petitions.
So just, what he's asking, just allow the public just to ask the questions at this time, whether it's for or against. Right now, it's so much question, they don't really, some may not know if they're for or against, if you can answer the question for them.
Some may not know if they're for or against. I think it is
Well-
clear it's for and against.
Well,
So
it
that's
seems like a lot of them just
why.
have questions though, too.
And they're saying what, they answer questions.
Yeah.
His comment wasn't for or against, he was saying question.
I see, you know, and I specified, you know, those who want to speak for the particular project, because if you're speaking against it, then you'd have the opportunity to express that.
I don't think the question mean that they're against it, I just think they.
Yeah, because we had an open session about, you know, questions, or we wanted to, or we will, if they want, or we want to continue to do that, to have questions asked about the project. Is that what you're saying? Right. If anybody
I think-
that still
I
has
think
questions.
I know.
I have questions.
You know, but you said you were against it.
I'm not necessarily against it, we don't understand it as
Right.
a community. You know, what's this gonna do to our schools when we have none already? How is this going to keep the alcoholics from driving down our streets where we have no sidewalks or playgrounds for our children to play on? You know, I'm not trying to knock Gary, I've lived here all my life, but you guys don't care about us. We have nothing in Blackham. So how do we protect our children and our homes from more crime, from alcoholics driving down our street, running our children over? Are we gonna hear the noise from this? Is it going to affect our property taxes?
Look, may I speak, respond to that?
Sure.
And it's gonna be a general response, but I think Rich has already addressed some of the aesthetics, which I gotta think are gonna be a lot better than a couple of junkyards that are there now. And especially with the screen. In terms of property taxes, I mean, this facility is gonna generate, once it's assessed, a very high assessed valuation, which should be helpful, and we're gonna be paying our taxes or we'll lose our license, so.
But
that-
is it going to help us? I guess I'm asking the
Yeah,
city.
and so let me just respond to that. So for all practical purposes, Spectacle is what in Indianapolis used to be known as Centaur. And Centaur was a company that owned two tracks, racetracks and casinos, one in Anderson, one in Shelbyville. And I would just ask you to go to any of those communities and look at our record of community involvement. And I spoke to a lady the other day, and I said, I don't think you'll believe the difference in 2 or 3 years once this casino is up and going and we're making the investments in the community, in the neighborhood that we did in those communities. We sold it to Caesars a year ago. But our motto has been to try and buy locally to the extent we can, to try and hire locally, and to reinvest in the community. And that's what we intend to do in Gary.
So, two things that are very important to me. One is our schools, we have none. And is some of this money going to our school district? Because we're talking about building a casino in Gary, but our kids go to Lake Ridge School District.
You know, I just don't know enough to respond.
Well, I
to
think
school
that's
questions.
something a lot of our community is concerned about. What are we doing with our children? My other one is mainly how do we protect them? Are we gonna have more security around our homes? People gonna be leaving the casino drunk in the middle of the day? That's our main
No,
concern.
those are very valid questions, and with regard to the security aspect, I would say affirmatively yes, because we're gonna have a lot of people in that property, and it's gonna be on us to make sure that they're all right and that their surrounding area is safe, so that they can come and go. At the end of the day, we don't want people not to come because they don't think the neighborhood is safe. We want them to believe this is a safe place for them to come. And
Well-
frankly, we've got a little reputational issue we gotta overcome.
And I understand that in the neighborhood might be safe for your casino. Is it safe for my children?
Well, that's certainly our hope. We're gonna do everything we can to make sure.
Can and worms here, because, you know, we want to keep it limited to, you know, so that everybody get opportunity, and we don't want to be here all day. But I would say this, and, you know, this is, you know, I hope that every project that we pretty much have done here at the planning commission, if there are concerns, from the people in the public and whatever, I would think that, these gentlemen, you know, Renzer, would open up some kind of an opportunity for them to address and to get some amenities, you know, going towards trying to help the community in any way whatsoever. But, you know, as far as addressing taxes going to your particular school section, we know that the whole city has an issue as far as schools are concerned, you know, and that's a struggle.
Right, and
that
I
everybody should
understand.
benefit from, you
But the
know.
problem is, we use like Ridge School District, not Gary. And they closed all of our schools. We have nothing in our community. We don't have a grocery store. We have nothing. They
There's a
have
lot of
closed
parts of
down
Gary like
everything.
that, and they're not the only one. And, you know, that's why we would hope that this project would, you know, do something to augment some of those issues throughout the city. And Mr. Williams, would you like to?
Mr. Chair, we're more than willing, and we'll get your information to have a community meeting to address your concerns to every detail. As it relates to the taxes, as many may know, this is controlled through an LDA agreement. We have no control of disbursement of taxes. That was decided by the state legislature on how those funds will be dispersed through municipal government. We don't have the power to change that. With all due respect, this body doesn't have the power to change that. That ship has sailed. When the legislation passed, we will review that with you and explain how it will be dispersed. But we'd love opportunity to come and meet with you all and take as much time as we need to answer your
Yes,
questions.
I would love that too. And again, our concern is all of our money seems to be going to downtown Gary. Gary took Black Oak over years ago and we got forgotten about. We have nothing, we can't even drive down our roads because our tires are getting flattened by all the potholes. So, you know, these are
People moving
concerns.
junkyards in next door to us.
Right, and if a casino's gonna stop and help that, I think that's great, as long as our children are safe.
Well, you got a voice, and he's giving you an avenue, and, you know, just come as a committee, you know, either be a community committee or whatever, and make sure that those issues are addressed. Because, you know, I'm sure that they want to be good partners, you know, community partners, without a doubt. I would think so, without a doubt. And this is the opportunity to do so while they're in the process of, you know, establishing this, so that they can reach out and do some of the things that they need to do. But we you know, we gotta have it limited so that other people can get some questions in, and we can, you know, kind of keep the meeting within context. So there you go. You give him your information. Continue to put together a committee or a community group and have the issues addressed. There's nothing wrong. But like I say, that's an issue throughout the city. I'm a precinct committeeman, and you know, other people in here know that in their districts, same thing. Potholes. I mean, it's crazy. You know, and it's all because of the fact that the city, you know, financially is in trouble, and that's why something like this can, you know, at some point in time, you know, be a benefit. And it's not going to be instantaneous, and it's not going to be citywide that everything's going to be solved. But it's certainly, you know, moving in the right direction, I would think. You know, I've been here too, you know, without a doubt.
And Lake Ridge is a separate entity with the school system, but it is Gary.
Okay.
It is.
It's in Gary.
Okay.
3 minutes. 3 minutes to talk.
3 minutes, yeah, we want to keep it, because it was a question and
You
answer.
said
and
earlier that you were stopping on Dallas Street. I heard originally that you were going to Colfax, which is 2 blocks. It's Dallas, King, what is that? And then Colfax, so you're not. Have them to come up front.
Do you ever plan on going any further, possibly?
Not at this time,
Congratulations.
I live on Dallas Street. How is that gonna affect me through that area? The people who live on Dallas Street.
So Dallas Street, we wouldn't touch Dallas Street.
But, and is there gonna be a security wall put up or any, what type of wall, something, some kind of buffer zone or something?
We'll put up a fence along.
That's gonna be right in my front yard.
We'll put up, so the PUD calls for a buffer between the project area and the residential zone to Dallas Street. So it calls for a buffer, which includes landscaping as well as a fence. And, you know, in my mind, that's, you know, a solid fence together with landscaping that would give you a nice presentation on down the street.
I live on Jerry Street. You're wanting to change
Sir, would you give your name, please?
Oh, Pat
So we can
Burrows. I
stay with
live
that.
on Jerry Street.
Okay.
You're wanting to change the zone on the north side of 29th. Is the south side of 29th still gonna be residential?
Yeah,
Now, I'm asking about, you know, our property taxes. I mean, residential, it's still gonna say residential. So you just wanted to change the north side? Correct. Okay. And that building or your construction site there?
So we're not asking any zoning change for for any property other than what we're gonna use. And today, that's just
Just that.
1 acre on the south side of 29th Street and a larger parcel, north.
All right.
Sir, name?
Jaworski. I live on Calhoun Street. I'm concerned about the extra traffic on Calhoun. And also, as they're coming up, are you going to knock down those sound barriers so you can be seen from the expressway? And if so, what's going to stop that sound abatement we need?
So,
Along the expressway,
so
roundabout?
sound barriers
You're
along.
going to take all those sound barriers down?
We would like to remove some of those sound barriers.
So what about that, all that pollution?
building.
We can live with the light
It's a
pollution.
state thing.
I'm sorry?
We can live with the light pollution, I think, but the sound barrier, I mean, I still hear the trucks now, like, we got the sound barrier.
But we'll certainly look at that. I mean, visibility is obviously important to us. as
What
well.
about, not that you were responsible for this, but maintenance of the Calhoun Street? Bad enough I get garbage thrown on my property now, but they add the traffic.
Calvin Street going south, yeah.
We're gonna get a lot of it now.
Well, how that traffic gets distributed will be something that we look at as part of the traffic study and understand where they anticipate people are traveling
I'm
from.
pretty sure they're gonna use Calhoun coming from Ridge. Ridge and Grove, obviously, it's the only two exits. I'm just concerned about the sound pollution from the expressway.
Okay.
So unless you can plant a lot of trees, I don't think you're gonna stop too much of it. That's my concern, just pollution and all that.
Thank you.
Can you put the image up of the actual casino itself? Do you have a drawing of that, the actual casino drawing?
You don't have the outside.
The outside, yes.
I don't think you have it, do you? Okay.
So I'll preface this with, these are extremely preliminary.
Right.
And it is definitely something that we are still looking at. So I brought them, they're 11 by 17 because they're out of a book of images that we're figuring out. So from a site plan perspective, we are still deciding whether the casino would face 29th or to the corner or toward Burr Street, and exactly how it would lay out in terms of the layout of the hotel, whether it's as an addition to the casino or whether it's more integrated in the casino. So very much a work in progress. So these are two 3D models that show you what the building might look like. Yeah, there's a building.
Well, I asked that because to the gentleman's question about sound barrier, pretty much whatever you're gonna build is gonna be bigger than those walls that's out there anyway now.
That's true.
So pretty much the building would become the new sound barrier itself because it's gonna be pretty much bigger than what you see out there for the sound barrier wall. So that should take care of the sound problem there. So that was the reason why I want to,
Appreciate that.
yes, an image, yes. Not holding you to that, but yes, an image.
And we're happy to share this.
Yes.
It's gonna change. Continue to work.
Any other questions?
One more question.
Gary?
Yeah, maybe the last one, I want to
I
jump
live in the area. Seems like everybody wants information. Couldn't you guys put up a website for the residents? I mean, we could go on, hey, when you get a plan, you put it on your website. We go, we look.
Well, when we get to that level of detail, that might be a possibility.
Well, nobody, see, the problem is nobody in the area knows anything. It's all rumor. Nobody knows.
Well, and the other thing that's been made clear here today, I think, is that we do need to have a community meeting.
Yeah.
And as soon as we have a definite plan that we can show you and raise our right hand, say this is gonna be what we're gonna do, then we'll have a meeting.
And it was someone in clandestine because we wanted to keep the speculators down as far as, not really a whole lot of information up until it was decided exactly where they were going to go and whatever. So, that was probably the reason why there wasn't a whole lot of awareness. Everybody kind of, blindsided, but hopefully in a good way. So, like you said, the opportunity to meet would probably be even more beneficial than a website where you have a whole lot of people putting, information on there that may not be essential. This way you're face to face and you can ask and get questions answered. If anyone else, we'll take maybe one or two more, and then we'll get recommendations from staff. We still want to know whether or not there's people that's for and against.
Right.
Yeah. So you have a question about the project or speaking in favor or against?
You got to stand up and give your name so we can record it.
My name is Ron Cohn. I'm the president of Brady's. This is its stores just on the other side of the expressway. And do you plan on giving local merchants and vendors first opportunity to provide services and material for you?
Yes. Yeah, question and answers, and I think that's a great question, and, that's the kind of answer I like.
That's the
And
last
I'm
question.
thinking that this is the opportunity to make sure that, their feet is held to the fire on these issues. Ma'am?
Hi, my name is Michelle, and when do you anticipate breaking ground?
Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year. And have you purchased the property on the southwest corner of 29th and Burr, the Golo, I believe it is?
No.
You have not?
Heard that. You said he should first.
Go back to the public. Go back to the public.
Okay, so, again, anybody that want to speak for the project, please come forward, give your name, address, 3 minutes, please. Anyone want to speak speaking against the project? Would you give your name and 3 minutes, please?
I'll speak for the project. My name is Gary. I'm with GWL Holdings. I own a couple of pieces of property in the area, but I own a company called Mickey Inc., and I've been delivering slot machines to casinos across the whole nation for probably 25 years. You can go into any casino. They're the nicest people in the world, and everybody at the casino tries to contribute to the neighborhood, and I've never seen a casino that really is a bad thing for the neighborhood. They always do good things for the neighborhood.
No, they do. It's great that they do. I was in Atlantic City 40 years ago when that place was a crap hole anything outside of the community, and they didn't do nothing. But that's why when we got the casinos here initially in Gary, there was an agreement that, they were going to make certain that the community, and even Gary got the worst deal out of all, but there's an opportunity to make amends for that with this particular facility here. So, we all feel like, especially members of the planning commission, that it's a good opportunity because it's something that's needed. It's a sin tax. I, was probably against it because of the Atlantic City thing and thinking that if it turned out to be something like that, where the community around the place would just be a dump, then, why have it? But nowadays, and like you say, you've traveled around, that most of them now are acquiescing what the community after. There's no doubt about it. They have to be advantageous and beneficial, and this is an opportunity for us to have that type of an agreement. So if that's no more questions or no more comments in favor or against, I would ask for a recommendation from staff about this particular project. 3 minutes, please. No.
I'll take less. 81 letters were sent certified mail to surrounding neighbors within 400 feet of the development area. 8 letters came back undeliverable. 4 responded and were not opposed. 3 responded and were opposed. The rest we did not hear from, although probably many of them are here today. In terms of staff recommendation, my staff recommendation is to approve. I, along with AJ Bittner, who's our redevelopment director, and the law department, we put together this PUD ordinance, so I feel very confident that we've covered all of our bases. I think that this is going to be a great benefit to the community. I think it's going to be a very beautiful site, and I think it's going to be, I think it's going to spur a lot of economic development. So I think this is a very positive project, and my recommendation is to approve.
Okay, we've got a recommendation from staff for approval, and there's no more questions or any more comments from the commissioners.
I'd like to make a motion, we accept PC 1907.
Second. There's been motion and seconded that we accept petition 1907. Director Providers, roll call, please.
Pundit?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Cook? Brewer?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Proto?
Yes.
6-0.
Okay, it's been moved.
Thank you very much.
I hope that moving forward, that the community makes certain that you make contact and be engaged. That way you can get what you deserve.
If you would like to leave your email address on the sign-in sheet, I provided a space for your email address so we can get in contact with you if there is a community meeting, when there is a community meeting. So please be sure, if you haven't, to include your contact information on the sign-in sheet. We do have a lot of other exciting agenda items. If anybody would like to say.
We're gonna be at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
If you have them come up front, if you have them to come up front,
Okay.
they're making sure.
Yes, it's right there.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. It might be a blank one. There's a red on the back there.
Let me
They say they'll start building that casino.
They're gonna break ground by the end of the year.
At the end of the year, they're gonna have it done by January.
2021.
January 1st.
Yeah, 2020.
2020 or 2020.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they have to get with it.
Oh, they are.
Because if they make a decision on where they're going to Chicago, they'll have the best construction company in the world. They got money.
He said 2020.
Yeah, so I thought it said.
He said New Year's 2020.
Right, New Year's Eve 2020, so they're going to
They're gonna take
2021.
no long to get that thing together.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he got the hard rock.
Still more, you know, got
Year on direction.
Yeah.
Ready, a year of construction.
Yeah, if he wants to
Oh,
start by the end of this year.
We're still live. So you wanna go to the next one?
Let's go next.
While they trying to.
Okay.
Okay, we've had that business concluded, petition 19-0-7. Our next petition is PC 19-09, and the Church of God in Christ is petitioning to rename West 19th Avenue in honor of Bishop B.A. Sanders. Is there anyone here for that particular project?
I'll be giving an overview for this project here.
All right, Mr. Brewer.
This is a petition to have an honorary street for Bishop B.A. Sanders. But before I do that, I would need to make a motion that we make amendment at this time that we go ahead and suspend the rules, because normally when we do a honorary street, it's usually someone deceased. Now I ask that we would suspend the rules because Bishop Sanders is still living, to go ahead and move forward with this resolution here. So I make a motion to suspend the rules to move forward with this resolution, because he's still living at this time.
I'll second the motion.
Question?
Is there a question prior to?
I have a question. I was under the consideration that last meeting, that the council would have to make that decision.
So I clarified with council, with our lawyers, that it is a policy of the plan commission that needs to be overturned. It is not an ordinance of the city council, so which is why we're gonna.
That's my question.
Okay.
So,
So it's a vote to suspend the rules.
all right.
I second that motion.
Okay, but motion is seconded that we suspend the rules on the individual being alive in order to have this petition to move forward. So, roll
Ready?
call. Okay. If there's any questions or any more questions, any more conversation.
Roll call.
That's it? Okay. So it's been discussed, been motion and seconded. Roll call, Director.
Condit?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Brewer?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Rocco?
Yes.
6-0. 6-0.
All right, it's been approved that we will have that,
Well, now you'll have to move to approve this separate.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
So we voted to suspend the rule.
okay, that was what we did. All right. So now we'll move forward with the actual petition to rename. And Mr. Brewer, you were speaking on behalf.
Yes. I'll give a brief overview because I gave it at the last Plan Commission meeting there. And this is just to have an honorary street. We're not actually renaming 9th Avenue. And we're looking to rename the street from 9th and Clark Road going to far west city limits there. So it's Bishop B.A. Sanders is the pastor of the Church of God in Christ in Gary, Indiana, where he's the faithful servant for over 69 years. He is also the presiding prelate of Indiana's second jurisdiction of Indiana, formerly known as Indiana South since 1997. He oversees several churches from northwest Indiana to the southern tip of Evansville. Bishop B.A. Sanders is a man of integrity, character, and lives by godly principles and practices. He is widely respected and admired for his dedication, honesty, and commitment to doing things fair and just. Bishop B.A. Sanders is a man of wisdom and knowledge. He received numerous awards, citations, honorary citation. Just to name a few, he was the 2011 Drum Major Service Award recipient. He has received several letters from United States, former United States Senator Evans By in 2001 and in 2003 from the United States Senator Richard Lugar. He is a husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, and a great-great-grandfather. He is a friend and a confidant. He is always ready to lend a helping hand. He's a pillar of strength in our community. It is only befitting that the honorary man leaves a distinction, legacy, and have a street named in his honor. That is Bishop B.A. Sanders. Bishop B.A. Sanders is still alive, as I pointed out earlier, and normally we do these when people are deceased, and we thought it was fitting, as myself being a member of the Indiana 2nd jurisdiction, that we honor Bishop B.A. Sanders at this time. Yes, because 69 years of serving in a leadership role as the pastor is a long time. Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because normally, Reverend.
Yeah. They said 9 years is a long time. Huh?
You gotta be doing something
Yeah.
right if you're gonna continue to lead the congregation like that. So I'm impressed myself personally. I think I have had the opportunity to meet Bishop Sanders being married to a woman that has a father that was a minister. But any discussion in reference to that, otherwise we can just move right on and
Make a motion that we pass PC 19.
I second it. I second it.
Okay, it's been motion and seconded that we pass PC-19-09. Director Kabatis, roll call, please.
Condit?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Brewer?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Proko?
Yes.
6-0. So, the petitioner should get in touch with Dave to figure out the street signs. It'll have to go to Board of Works.
Okay.
So, we can talk about that, but essentially, I'll just put him in touch with Dave.
Okay.
All right. So that order of businesses has been concluded, and we can move forward to petition 19-010, a resolution to adopt the Lake County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan update. And is there someone here to explain that? Director.
The petitioner the city is the petitioner, but the person who was going to speak to it couldn't make the meeting, and they would like to speak to the plan and its importance, so we're gonna defer, if that's all right,
Okay.
to next meeting.
I make a motion to defer PC 19-10.
Second.
So there's been a motion to defer PC 19-010 and seconded, so that we'll set a date for that.
That'll be August 27th.
Okay.
You got that.
So we'll move on to
Roll
petition.
call for that one?
I'm sorry. Roll call, Director.
We're moving fast, I
Yeah,
know. Condit?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Brewer?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Proto?
Yes.
6-0.
That business has been concluded. We will defer that, and we'll move forward to petition 19-11, a resolution to close Lehigh Crossing, DOT AAR 260932M, a roadway in the city of Gary where the road crosses the tracks of the railroad at the grade on the railroad and Lakefront sub. And this is somewhere located by the Buffington Harbor, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, Mr. Schilling?
Yes, I am here to speak on that. As you may or may not be aware, there's a current project that is building new bridges to add 2 more lanes to Buffington Harbor Drive. And the original thought was to separate the heavy truck traffic from the casino traffic. Now with the casino moving, we'll now have a 4-lane bridge over those tracks. When the first bridge was built, this crossing essentially became obsolete. It's a crossing of the railroad tracks that is under the bridge. So for hundreds of years when that operated as a cement plant before the casino came in, and even after the casino came, before the bridge was built in late 2008, somewhere around there, that crossing was no longer needed. As they're building a new bridge over that crossing, the supports are in conflict with the traffic or with the railroad crossing equipment. So those need to be removed so that they can build the piers for the new bridge. So what I'm asking for is approval to permanently close that crossing so that they can proceed with the construction.
Okay, and anyone else familiar with that or have any objections to what the engineer has expressed? Any discussion in reference? Director Kabidas?
My recommendation would be to approve. It's only being used right now by the Majestic Star Casino to access one of their warehouses. They've already created a separate access path, so they have no problem with it. It is no longer being used as a public road. INDOT is going to pay to, who's going to cover the costs?
There is an agreement where CN is going to reimburse the costs. The costs are going to be performed under the current contract, which the bridge is, I believe, RDA funded. So there's some money left in that contract. So there's no direct cost to the city. It's going to be done under that contract.
So my recommendation would be to approve. Ultimately, after it is approved or denied here, it goes to the Board of Works for final.
And I see no one in here in order to speak for or against. So I'm assuming that we will get close that portion. We got recommendation of staff. So Director, if everybody want to make a motion that we approve.
Make a motion, sorry, to approve PC 1911.
I second it.
Okay.
Okay, it's been approved and seconded. Director Kabidas, roll call, please.
Condit?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Brewer?
Yes.
Harper?
Yes.
Valerie?
Yes.
Proto?
Yes.
All right, 6-0. And we're done.
All right.
All right.
Give me a motion to adjourn.
So,
Thank
I
you.
second it.
Very productive meeting. Thank you. All right.
Excellent job, everybody. We did it.